Coming up on today's show, Chelsea are through to the quarterfinals after a dramatic victory against Benfica, which included a 2-hour delay for extreme weather, where they'll face Palmeiras after they saw off Botafogo in an all-Brazilian tie. Elsewhere, PSG ruthlessly dumped out Lionel Messi's Inter Miami. They'll now play Bayern Munich after Harry Kane's double helped the German side beat Flamingo. Stay tuned for all the action. Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alex Aljoe and me, Gary Lineker. Chelsea, Palmeiras, PSG and Bayern Munich have booked their place in the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup. Don't forget, every single match is available to watch live and for free on the DAZN app. No subscription required. How have we been, folks? Alex, I've seen you wandering around with an individual who's carrying eggs and strange dietary food. Explain, please.
Yeah, we need to talk about this, don't we? Andros Townsend's diet. So we were at the airport in Charlotte yesterday. He opens a Tupperware in a public space, by the way. And it was raw bison. I have to confess, I hadn't heard of bison, but it's a buffalo, the largest mammal in North America. So he blended it. He blended the liver and the heart. So he opens up the stench. I can't even explain. A woman opposite put a mask on, COVID mask. Yeah, he had a side of smoked salmon, diced onion. Honestly, the smell was horrific. And also, I haven't mentioned he had 10 eggs with him as well that he'd put on ice. He'd in a cool bag. I don't know how they got through security. I was stood there just thinking they're not going to, because it beeped and they're checking like it's a normal thing to carry 10 eggs. Like, yeah, okay, off you go. And so he drinks the yolk. He swears by it. He says it's regenerative. He says organs, 100% nutrients. You don't lose any of the nutrients. No processed foods. No oil, so he doesn't cook things because he doesn't use oil. But yeah, he swears by it. He says we've been brainwashed into thinking the things we eat are the right things, but basically what he eats is right.
I don't understand. Is he still going to play football? Is he retired now? What's happening?
Yeah,
he's
still playing. He's still playing. He's playing out in Turkey. So since he got his knee injury, he turned to this diet. So he doesn't eat anything processed, nothing processed, only water, no ice. Can't have ice. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing. I might try and follow some of it, but I'm not sure I'm going to be eating raw bison anytime soon. I promise him I'll try it. We've got a deal going on that I'll try bison at some point.
Sounds pretty grim. Have you been, Micah?
Yes, I've been good. I've been working out. I've been in the gym. I've lost 7 kilos.
Oh, that's a lot, Micah.
In 3 weeks. A steady diet, protein shakes, the lot. Eating clean. That's what I've been doing.
Raw bison?
No bison for me.
Just biceps.
How have you been? How have you been, Gary? Have you been all right?
I've been good. I was at Glastonbury, which was fun. Went okay. Managed to survive the ordeal. Got out of there, and now I'm actually in Menorca with friends, just for a couple of days. My signal's been going a bit in and out, so hopefully we can survive to the end of the podcast. So we should probably crack on.
Well, hold on. Before we do crack on, have you been cracking on in Menorca? Have you got a lady friend out there, or what type of friends are we talking about?
Old friends, Micah. Old friends and family.
Okay, no problem.
The only thing I'm cracking on is the odd beer because it's pretty warm out here. So.
I hope it's a Guinness.
Actually, I've just got this out the fridge. It's a weird thing. It's a damn lemon. Cerveza and limon. Weird. It's like lager and lime. Remember that drink?
What's the percentage? Quite weak?
I think it's pretty weak, yeah. Just grabbed it out of the fridge quickly because I was hot. Didn't realise It was actually beer. That's all right. Should talk about a little bit of football, possibly. Where have you been, Alex? You at Chelsea game. That was a long night for you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so I'm in Orlando now, but I've been to Charlotte and back for that game, Chelsea-Benfica, which I thought was never going to end. I think 4 hours, 38 minutes it took to finish that game. So I was walking down from the commentary booth to come down to do my post-match interviews I think I went left at 84, right? And so get down to the bottom, all the players are coming down the tunnel. I'm thinking, oh my God, did it take me that long to walk down? Because I've got to be on the pitch to do the post-match interview. I was like, oh my God, like running. And then they're like, no, storms in the area. But it wasn't raining. But what happens is if there's lightning in the area, 30 minutes, and then the moment there's another bit of lightning, it starts again. So that's what kept happening. So I think it was almost 2 hours in the end. Enzo Maresca pacing up and down, saying, what's going on? Cole Palmer was coming out. It's like, come on, guys, can't we just play? Because it wasn't actually raining. It seemed totally fine.
It's like they do in the golf, isn't it? In the golf tournament, as soon as there's a hint of lightning in the area, everyone has to evacuate the course, the players, that stops play. But with football, that's different. And it's not the first time it's happened, is it? There's about half a dozen games now. And I've got some quotes here from Enzo Maresca after the game. He said, it's a joke, to be honest. It's not possible at all. Suspending the game for 2 hours. This is not football. This is not acceptable for our game. I understand the stoppage for safety, but this is probably not the right place to do such a game of football. Guys, it is not football to suspend a game for 2 hours. He kept going on, but I think you get the gist. And the World Cup's there next year. The actual FIFA World Cup, not the FIFA Club World Cup.
The thing is, we're not used to it, obviously, but all the fans inside the stadium, I think most of them stayed because they're used to it. Obviously, living in North Carolina, it happens all the time. And so I think if that happened in England, everyone would go, right? 86 minutes.
No, you just keep playing. You just keep playing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the fans, I would say, everyone would leave. But it is a worry. It definitely is a worry. And the kickoff later, I know we're recording this before, but a Manchester City game is 9 o'clock. There are definitely storms in the area. The skies are so great. So I asked someone from FIFA this morning at breakfast, queuing for omelets, what would happen if the same thing happened? Are the players going to play in the early hours of the morning? And she said, yeah, well, the priority is finishing the game. Wow. So what would Pep Guardiola say about that if his players were out at 2 a.m? Yeah. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
So in the Chelsea game, who did you interview, Alex? And what did you ask them? I saw the game, but I didn't see any interviews after the game.
Yeah, I interviewed Enzo Maresca, who was just fuming, really fuming. I've never seen him like that. He was obviously livid about the weather delays and just saying it's so hard for the players to sit there. I think they were trying to keep active, but you're not going to keep active for 2 hours, are you? He was also furious about the penalty, not the handball decision, which I personally don't think was a handball, but the fact that the free kick, Moises Caicedo, it was soft, wasn't it? The tackle wasn't. Anyway, he didn't believe it was a free kick that led to the handball. So he was really angry about that as well, because if they could have just wrapped it up in 4 minutes and all gone home, it would have been a lot better than having to play extra time. But they did score some brilliant goals in extra time.
Here they come again. Cole Palmer slips it to Caicedo and Kunku. How did that not go in? It does the second time. Di Maria, if anyone can, it's him. But he's outnumbered. And now Chelsea have got the numerical advantage. Pedro Neto, this can seal it into the quarter-final now. Palmer. Chelsea have Benfica where they want them now, on the rack. Kane and Dewsbury Hall, and the Chelsea celebration will go long and loud tonight in Charlotte.
Yeah, imagine how grumpy it'd have been if they'd lost.
I know, because Benfica came out firing after that weather delay. I could see an equaliser coming. It was inevitable, I think. But luckily biased there, aren't I? But Gianluca Bresciani got sent off, and Chelsea were very good in the end.
That handball law for giving a penalty for something like that. What do you think, Micah? I mean,
no, it's ridiculous, isn't it? No matter what minute in the game, but to give a penalty for that was just absolutely ridiculous. So what are you supposed to do? And they always talk about this proximity, don't they? They talk about where your arms are in relation to your torso and your body and all these different things. They seem to come out with something different every time, but The thing is a natural position. They always talk about natural position. So if you go to make one movement, the movement after becomes natural, you know? So I don't quite understand what the rule is anymore. I think we're all scratching our heads time after time after time. It needs to just be clear now, doesn't it? Because it was never a penalty.
Just go back to how it was way back when basically you could work out whether there's a degree of deliberateness about it. Correct. And use a little bit of common sense. I mean, that was it's absurd. And you know why they did it? Because his arm is up in the air. I mean, come on. It's not unnatural if it's still connected to your shoulder.
Correct.
Now, if you've thrown an arm and across the box and it hits it, then I understand it. But that's generally not what happens. They've tied themselves up in knots with that rule. And it's making referees and VAR people look stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't even looking in the direction. He didn't even see the ball coming, did he? He couldn't do anything about it. And then the ref goes to the monitor, looks at it and gives the penalty. I couldn't believe it, to be honest. The Chelsea players were absolutely furious. I've got some footage on my phone, actually. I'll send in so we can show it. But
why is that? Because you're a Chelsea fan? I didn't see you doing that at Man City games.
No, I'll be filming tonight at Man City. Don't you worry, Micah. I'll give you your City footage. Don't you worry. Drunky love, Micah.
But I think just going back to your point, Gary, I think, you've heard players and managers talk about this tournament, and I think there's pros but I also think there's a lot of cons for this. I think the players, obviously Bellingham come out about the pitches not being good enough. And then when you have a delay for so long, end of the day, players are not pieces of meat, are they? We want a good competition. I actually quite like the idea of it, but to delay a game for so long, obviously it's going to frustrate managers. And not only that, I had an interview with Guardiola as well, and they was talking about when are they going to get the rest? If they go on and win the competition, and then they've got to start the competition in August, by January, February, they're going to be burnt out, aren't they? And I know Pep was said before, he likes a small squad, but he's going to have to knock that on the head, because I think all teams now just need a big squad because there's too many games.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Jurgen Klopp came out, didn't he? And then he was backed up again with Pep Guardiola, but Pep said, well, we've got a job to do. We're professionals, we've got to play. But I totally get what Jurgen Klopp said. I think didn't he say something along the lines of one of the worst decisions ever for football to do this? I mean, it gives us something to talk about in the summer, which is quite helpful. But in terms of players' welfare, and again, people will say, yeah, but they get paid loads of money and this and that and the other. But that's not actually the point. The point is people pay to watch football. And if you've got tired footballers and even tired managers, you're going to get tired football. And that is not entertaining. And that is the problem. So therefore, the fans ultimately will suffer. So they're going to have to think about it. And I think you're absolutely right. The teams that qualify for this tournament, like Manchester City and Chelsea in England, and obviously Real Madrid and Bayern Munich and all the others, they're going to have larger squads to play almost 12 months of the year.
Pep Guardiola is going to give time off to his players when they get back. So they're going to be rested anyway. He's going to give them, I think, maybe up until the season starts. They'll just come back just before for a few days, but he is going to give them that time. Which again is a
gamble, isn't it?
But the Jurgen Klopp thing, just on that, I think the City players are really enjoying themselves out here. Pep is really enjoying himself out here. They are having a good time. He's giving them tons of downtime. On their days off, they can do what they want. They can go into Miami. He's not asking questions. Do what you want. Have fun. And I think if Jurgen Klopp had been here with his Liverpool team, he'd have also been enjoying himself. Their players would have been enjoying themselves. And ultimately, he'd have wanted to win the tournament. So it's easy to say it when you're not here. Maybe he's got FOMO. Maybe he's got FOMO, guys.
Let's take a little break there. And when we come back, we'll discuss the other three teams that have made it through to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the Rest is Football on this occasion with Alex Aljoe, Micah Richards and me, Gary Lineker, talking about the last 16 games. The all-Brazilian affair of Palmeiras and Botafogo wasn't exactly what we thought we'd get from perhaps two Brazilian teams and all the flair and charm. It was quite the reverse, wasn't it?
Gary, well done, by the way. You were the only one that said Palmeiras to go through.
Was it Gary? I thought it was Alan.
I wasn't going to raise that, but thank you for doing so.
Very well done. Very well done.
It's because I've watched them all season, Micah. You know that.
You know what's so annoying about this? You did this in the Euros as well. You won that, didn't you, as well? We picked the teams and you won. Oh, my God. But anyway, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, it wasn't a thriller. Now Chelsea up against Palmeiras, up against their own player, Esteval. But Palmeiras are decent. They are decent. 3 clean sheets in their 4 games so far. They're really hard to break down. I think it's not going to be straightforward for Chelsea. Chelsea without Moises Caicedo in that game as well. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do there. But I think Palmeiras have a good chance against Chelsea.
Really, Alex? You sure?
Yes, I'm very sure.
PSG against Inter Miami. I think we all expected PSG to win comfortably. At one point, it started to look like it might get a bit embarrassing.
Here's Barcola. Hakimi off the bar.
But they maybe calmed down a little bit in the second half, and it wasn't quite the embarrassment that we thought it might be. But overall, PSG, obviously Champions League winners, they're flying in the tournament, probably the tournament favourites as well. So expected result there. I think we all went for PSG. Yeah,
but I think what's so impressive about PSG, guys, is the fact that they're still pressing in this heat. I mean, you've seen teams be better on the ball and have better rotations, be better defensively. You expect that from European teams, especially European champions. But the way they press, they leave Dembele out, but like Barcola comes through, and then you've got Doué and you've got Kvaratskhelia, and the way they rotate in the free is just remarkable to watch. And then it was a great clip, and I was watching it, and I was thinking, they're almost saying, do you remember the FA Cup final with Man City and Crystal Palace? And Palace were sort of setting traps, and PSG set traps better than anyone else when the other team have got the ball, especially from goal kicks. It's really impressive. And the free midfield could end up in different positions. It's not like they're set in one specific space in the field. They all just know exactly where it's going to go. And when the ball goes there, they could rotate. And then one could sit in. Fabian Ruiz, João Neves, and Vitinha. It's just, they're a joy to watch. And I've not even mentioned that the fullbacks were mentioned pretty much every single week throughout the season.
They're a seriously good side. I'd love to penny for the thoughts of Lionel Messi watching that first half. He rallied a bit. Actually, he produced some quite good stuff in the second. And I saw a stat that he went past Nuno Mendes a couple of times, which is no one else has done this season. Neither Yamal or even Salah, of course. But they were. It was men against boys, actually, or men against old men. You could say probably is a better way of describing it.
And to think how many games of football they played as well this season, those Paris Saint-Germain players. Yeah. I think Sir David Beckham said that he thinks they're the best team in the world right now. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but certainly one of them.
We're about to find out, aren't we, over the next few weeks?
Yeah, because they've got Bayern Munich, which is a really tasty fixture.
Which takes us on to that one. And that was one of the more entertaining games for sure. A couple of goals for Harry Kane, of course, which... was 2 good goals as well, I thought, actually, in that. They came back a little bit a couple of times, Flamingo, and gave a decent fist of themselves.
The first one, he got it onto his foot. I don't think it was a good strike, but if you look at the replay, there was a deflection on it, which just took it away from the goalkeeper.
That's a good tackle as Upamecano steps forward. It's Harry Kane on his left foot, and he's found the back of the net via the post.
I was watching it on commentary and I was thinking, whoa, how has he managed to score at that angle with that pace, with his weaker foot? And you look at the second angle, it just took a nick that evaded the keeper and it went more to the corner. But Harry Kane, he's still a class act, isn't he? He's still a class act. And
I think you can see what this tournament means to him when he scored his second to give them the lead. The way he celebrated, like he obviously wants to win this trophy. You could see what it meant to him. But it was a great game. It was a really good game. Flamengo competed. 9 yellows, I think, in that game. 6 goals. I really enjoyed it. Really good game. Really good game of football.
Yeah, he also probably wants to win the... Is there a golden boot or a top scorer award? Do you know? Or is it a supreme boot or what is it?
Superior boot.
Superior boot. Or...
Yeah, there'll definitely be an award for top scorer. But
I thought there would be.
He was Spom again, Gary.
Spom, yeah. Was he Spom again?
He was, yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic stuff.
Can we give a little shout out to Jorginho, though?
Oh, yeah. He loves a penalty, doesn't he?
He loves a pen. I thought he played quite well as well. He's just got that patience in midfield, and he plays the right. Of course, in terms of energy and legs, he's not got what he used to have, but football intelligence, I thought he played really well, fitting into a new team, so soon.
Yeah, good move for him, I think, going to Flamingo. He wasn't going to get many minutes at Arsenal, was he?
The penalties now, they are quite commonly taken like that. And they talk about the calmest penalty. Angel Di Maria's penalty down the middle, hitting it really slowly.
And a 4th penalty success.
Do you see? He waited and waited to the last minute.
Yeah.
I just think
it was like a game of chicken, wasn't it?
Yes, who's going to go first? But
4 penalties for him in the tournament, and that was his last ever game for Benfica, so he was in tears when he came off the pitch. Yeah. He's going back to Argentina now, but yeah, what a way to bow out.
Yeah, he's won it all. What a player. Before we go, let's talk. I just want big congratulations to Lee Carsley and Ashley Cole, the coaching staff there, for guiding England's under-21s to back-to-back European Championship victories. And what a job he's done there. Micah.
Wow. I mean, when he got the games for the seniors and he come out and had a few interviews basically saying he didn't know if he wants the seniors, he might be back with the 21s, and there was no real conviction in terms of what he wanted to do. But to win back-to-back under 21 tournaments is just sensational. And not just do it, because I watched all the games. And they started
I
slow.
From the quarterfinals onwards, yeah. Yeah,
they started slow, and then they grew into the tournament. But against Germany in the first half, they absolutely battered them. They could have scored 4 or 5, but you knew Germany was going to react. They got some really good players in that squad. And then when they brought it back to 2-2, wasn't it? I think, what's gonna happen here? Have they got the tactical nous to change up the game? He brings on, was it Rowe? He scores the winning goal. Although there was a little bit lucky. Germany hit the bar at the end of normal time and then extra time as well, and dominated large periods. But if you watch the game as a whole, in terms of what England were doing, there was playing out from the back, good rotations in midfield, pace on the wings, substitutes at the right times, and then winning a trophy. I just think the game had absolutely everything,
Yeah, and what a tournament for Harvey Elliott as well, after such a disappointing season for him. Wearing the armband at the end, and he only started, 2 Premier League games for Liverpool after they'd won the title. So I think really frustrating for him, interesting to see what will happen, but a massive boost for him. I think he's been linked to Newcastle. See what Alan thinks about that when he's back. But yeah, brilliant.
I think Alan be very keen on that. I think it's an interesting decision for Harvey Elliott as well, isn't it? Because they've obviously brought other players in as well. Florian Wirtz has come in, another kind of forward midfield player. Elliott, I mean, what a tournament he's had. And if it's not going to happen for him at Liverpool, I think there'll be a host of clubs keen to sign him after that performance.
If I'm Liverpool, though, I'm not selling him, not one bit. I'm not selling him. It reminds me of similar to the Cole Palmer situation when he was at Manchester City. And you got Phil Foden, you got Kevin De Bruyne at the time, you got other young players coming through. And I just think if you could get a good Premier League team on loan for the season, because we keep talking about Salah. Salah signed, 2-year deal, hasn't he? And I mean, a year from now, it could be, I don't want to say winding down, but might not be the same player that we've been used to over the years. And he can play that position so well. I would just wait. I wouldn't get rid of him right now. Not a chance.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. As you know, I was keen for Lee Carsley to get the England manager's job, and I actually think he's now in an excellent position to get it again, because obviously Tuchel's only doing it till the World Cup. So I think he's the natural man to carry on. I think he deserves that. He's got something. Go on.
Can I just ask you one more question? And maybe maybe you as a journalist, Alex, and you guys as a former England legend, though, he's got all the tools, coaching-wise. We know that, and we've seen that, and I don't think anyone could argue with that case. But when you're England manager, everything is scrutinised. So how does he play it? We've seen him in a couple of interviews when he was sort of in between the 21s and the seniors, and he wasn't, what's the right word without being disrespectful? But you know, when you have a manager and you just believe everything that he's saying, and he's just got that presence. And I'm not saying he didn't have that, but it was sort of because the decision wasn't made, he was sort of in between that moment. But now he's got opportunity after Tuchel, if it doesn't go well, to stake his claim now.
The important thing is not how you respond to journalist questions, and the experience of the first time will have helped him in that. There's no question about that. But I'll give you two examples of a similar scenario. Argentina, they went on to win the World Cup, and Spain went on to make the Euros. They both came up with managers with not really experience of club football. It wasn't necessary, but they've been in the system, and that worked for them.
And also, I think being England manager, look at Gareth Southgate, the whole nation was in love with him, weren't they? You don't necessarily have to be, well, obviously you have to be a good manager, but I'm not saying that Southgate was the best manager, but the fact he had the whole country behind him at every major tournament, didn't he? So if Lee Carsley can do that, and he's certainly on his way to becoming that figure, then he'd be a great success.
Well, let's hope so. Good place to finish. Micah, thank you. Alex as well. Great stuff. Great to see you. I'm glad we got through that in one piece, just about, but I'll take it. That's all we've got time for today on The Rest is Football, and we'll be back on Wednesday as Inter Milan, Manchester City and Real Madrid try and book their places in the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup. Don't forget, every single match is available to watch live and for free on the DAZN app. No subscription required. For now, though, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.